So I've played with Gradle now for a little bit, and I would like to share with you all the things that I found and I was looking for ways to automate the build process, so that later down the road I can take my development environment up on the cloud and perhaps wire it into Jenkins or a DevOps workflow or development flow. So in only few hours, I knew nothing about Gradle before. I did some AX work. This is the first time I take the N4 class, so I knew nothing about Gradle before, so I spent some time researching, and I was able to add sort of like chain a closure or a ad hoc task to the build and clean task in order to run a PowerShell script which opens the Niagara console and starts up the workbench with the console, so you can see the console output from the workbench. So here goes. So it's the review RT. So it's basically the project Smolinski review, but if you look at the Gradle file, might be in here. Here we go. If you look at the Gradle file, you see that this is review, and here's where the modules are, and there's no review. So here I'm gonna go ahead and build. And that's the console, the Niagara console. I'm gonna, oh, and there goes the workbench. And I did a little bit of ASCII art also. So, and now let's go ahead and confirm that we did build, and we did build at 8:05. And we do confirm that it is 8:05. So boom, worked. So that was pretty cool that I was able to add that to the build Gradle task that came in the Gradle wrapper from Tritium. And then I was able to automatically run my workbench and my console. One thing that I was a little bit ticked off, I was not able to figure out in the time I had, was how to write output to the console so that this station, N4 dev station, would be sort of arguments to the PowerShell that starts this process. But anyway, I was not able to achieve that yet, but this would be really interesting, so that in order to automate development and so on. So here's another thing that we can do is when we're all done building and testing and so on, we clean. And clean does not actually remove the module the first time I run it, because the module, there's a lock on the jar module file from the workbench and the Niagara station process. And so here I'm just gonna hit quit. And now I could run my clean and a little more ASCII art, and now we can confirm that I cleaned that module out. And well, here's the code for that. I just went ahead and did this for the jar method. That's to start the console. I did this to start the workbench, and then this is clean in order to go ahead and get rid of both of those processes. And the interesting thing here is I was trying to use the process builder to call the workbench executable and the Niagara console executable directly. However, that proved to be actually pretty finicky, and it did not work properly every time. It just seemed to me like it was going to be an issue. So I wrote a couple of very like one-liners on PowerShell, and that works really well. PowerShell starts with an elevated prompt and is able to start and stop these processes no problem. And that's all I have. So I hope it helped, and if anybody knows how to do this in a better, more elegant way using Java or Groovy, please feel free to share with me. I am more than happy to learn. Thank you.